You, in your profound journey of self-discovery and quantum mastery, have you ever felt the peculiar frustration of being trapped in a self-perpetuating cycle of observation, where the very energy you dedicate to focusing on and transforming an undesirable pattern paradoxically strengthens it, keeping you firmly anchored in a reality you long to transcend? It's as if your attention, this sacred tool of creation, transforms into a subtle trap, a vibrational cage where every attempt to fly free only reaffirms the invisible bars, leaving you exhausted and questioning the true efficacy of the principles you study and strive to apply, feeling the reverberation of a silent powerlessness that resonates in your soul. This pain you feel, the exhaustion of incessantly and fruitlessly trying to change something that seems unbreakable, is a deeply validated experience within the community of those seeking mental reprogramming and energetic alignment with true authenticity. You are not alone in this frustration of feeling held captive by a focus that, against all expectations, seems to perpetuate exactly what you seek to dissolve. It's an internal battle, a quantum struggle where the purest intention of manifestation clashes with an invisible resistance, generating a weariness that permeates your energy, making you doubt the true applicability of your wisdom, questioning if there's a deeper secret, a hidden nuance you haven't yet grasped to finally break free. What if I told you that the real issue doesn't lie in the persistence of the observer loop itself, but in your own approach to it, in how you've been conditioned to interact with your observed reality? Imagine for a moment that your life is a high-definition mirror, flawlessly reflecting what's before you. You would never try to shatter the distorted reflection of your own countenance, but rather adjust what's presenting itself before it. The loop, in its essence, is not an insurmountable barrier to be demolished with force and resistance, but a field of resonance to be reframed, inviting a subtle yet radical shift in perspective on the nature of observation and the observer. In this gathering of consciousness, we will unveil the secret held at the core of the observer loop, revealing that the true key to your liberation lies not in struggle, but in an elegant and simple internal shift. I will guide you to an understanding of what I call quantum disengagement, a process that transcends effort and resistance, activating an instant and liberating shift in your perception and, consequently, in your reality. Prepare to understand that ease is the path, and that desired manifestation is not a distant destination to be reached through arduous battles, but an inevitable consequence of an internal realignment that redefines your entire field of vibrational possibilities, without any trying or struggle. For this revelation to anchor deeply into your system, allowing your brain's neuroplasticity and the coherence of your energetic field to align with this new truth, I invite you to inhale deeply now, feeling the air fill every cell, and as you exhale, release any expectation or resistance, opening yourself completely to curiosity and possibility. Feel tranquility settle, a permission for this new perspective to manifest in your consciousness. This is an invitation to be fully present, not just listening to words, but attuning yourself to the frequency of ease, preparing your being for the tangible experience of an authentic and effortless transformation. You feel the paradox at your core, the exhaustion that arises when the purest intention of manifestation transforms into an arduous struggle against reality itself. It's as if, the more you dedicate yourself to breaking the limiting patterns that imprison you, the stronger and more intricate they become, weaving a web of frustration that validates the deeper pain of non-belonging, of unworthiness. This is the cruel illusion of the observer loop, the ingrained belief that transformation demands titanic effort, an incessant battle against external circumstances, and the internal voices that whisper the old story. You find yourself in a vicious cycle, where each attempt to force a change, to push reality into a new form, paradoxically, generates intrinsic resistance, creating a field of tension that reverberates the exact frequency of what you desperately try to overcome, solidifying the very obstacle you long to dissolve. This struggle is not a sign of weakness, but rather a manifestation of a deep belief in effort, a paradigm that the quantum field reflects with impeccable precision. And this resistance you feel is not a flaw in your will, but a direct resonance of your effort to fight against what is. Think of it, the energy you invest to confront a pattern of scarcity, to contend with a cycle of toxic relationships, or to desperately try to control overwhelming anxiety. is an energy you emit into the field. Every fragment of your attention focused on fighting against is a vibrational pulse that, like a powerful magnet, attracts more of the same. Your mind, with its incredible neuroplasticity, interprets this repetition of effort as a directive to solidify the neural pathways corresponding to this battle, strengthening the connection between problem and solution via effort. Thus, the very attempt to break the observer loop traps you even more deeply, collapsing the wave of infinite possibilities into a single reality, where effort is the currency for non-movement, generating a weariness that permeates every cell of your being. Allow yourself now to imagine, with vivid clarity, the familiar scene of trying to push a door. You put all your weight against it, your muscles tense, your forehead wrinkles with effort, and the door remains unmoving, impassable. The small sign, perhaps almost imperceptible in your eagerness, clearly indicates pull. However, the force of habit, the body's memory of struggle, the impulse to make it happen, leads you to push even harder, to exhaust your last reserves of energy against the barrier. The more you push, the more your frustration grows, fueling the belief that the door is stuck, that change is impossible, or that you are not strong enough to open it. This powerful and tangible metaphor precisely mirrors what happens in your energetic field when you try to break a pattern through willpower, resistance, or relentless battle against what you perceive as undesirable in your present reality. Your daily experience echoes this invisible pushing. You push to be happy, to have more money, to find love, to heal a physical pain, to release a persistent fear. You believe that if you just push harder, if you struggle more intently, if you control every thought and emotion with iron determination, the door of manifestation will open. But the universe, the quantum field, doesn't respond to your brute force. It responds to your frequency, to the resonance of your state of being. When you push, you are emitting a frequency of resistance, of tension, that something is wrong and needs to be fixed through confrontation. This frequency of battle is precisely what the field captures, and in its mirroring perfection, it reflects back more situations that demand pushing, more problems that seem to require your struggle, more doors that remain stubbornly closed, solidifying the observer loop of difficulty. The effort to break the observer loop is not only ineffective, it is in fact the very mechanism that sustains it, a paradox that unveils the depth of our programming for struggle. You feel trapped in a cycle of observation that, instead of freeing you, deepens your entrapment because each time you direct your attention to the problem with the intention of fighting against it, you are, in essence, validating its existence and, more crucially, imbuing it with energy. The field of universal consciousness does not distinguish between what you want and what you don't want when your attention is focused with such intensity. It simply amplifies the frequency of your dominant observation. And if that observation is charged with the energy of resistance, battle, and the effort to break, then the observed reality will manifest with more resistance and more elements to be broken, consolidating a cycle of exhaustion. Each time you push forcefully against a situation, an emotion, or an undesirable thought pattern, you are not just expending energy. You are reconfirming to your subconscious and to the quantum field that this is your priority reality, the one that deserves your continuous attention. This repetition of focus with resistance creates deeply rooted neural pathways, making the reaction to fight against something almost automatic, a conditioned reflex that manifests even when you consciously desire a path of ease. Your physiology responds to this tension with stress, contraction, and energy depletion, creating a coherence between your internal state of struggle and your external manifestation of resistance. It's an intricate dance where the observer, in trying to force change, becomes the main architect of the problem's continuity, trapped in the snare of their own intention, exhausted by the illusion of effort without result. It is imperative to recognize that this is not a failure on your part, nor a sign that you are unworthy. It is simply a feedback mechanism from the universe responding to the frequency you are emitting. The pain and doubt that arise from this constant struggle are valid. They are the echo of a soul that yearns for freedom and ease, but has been trained to seek that freedom through methods that, ironically, entrap it further. You have been a tireless warrior, and your persistence, your strength in facing challenges, is admirable. However, the invitation now is for a deep reevaluation of this strategy, for a paradigm shift that recognizes the invisible cost of effort and the true nature of the quantum field, which responds to surrender, permission, and an internal change of frequency, not to the brute force of a will that tries to control the uncontrollable. Feel this now as you read, in your own body, the muscular and emotional memory of resistance. Notice the tension in your shoulders when you think of a problem that afflicts you, the contraction in your stomach when you try to force a solution, the shallow breath when you feel frustrated by not being able to break a habit. This somatization is not just a symptom, it's a map, a clear signal from your energetic system that you are pushing against something that perhaps only needs to be pulled gently. This is your body's language, a silent voice echoing your battle frequency, calling your attention to the urgent need to reevaluate your approach. Allow yourself to feel this dense energy of struggle without judgment, merely as a precise indicator of your current strategy of engagement with manifested reality. Where in your life are you forcefully pushing something that perhaps only needs to be pulled in a different way? Feel the resonance of this question in your heart, allowing it to illuminate the areas where effort has become a burden, where persistence has transformed into exhaustion, and where the struggle against the observer loop has only solidified it further in your perception. Perhaps it's in your relationships trying to control someone's behavior, perhaps in your career, forcing results that seem to evade you, or perhaps in your health, fighting against symptoms instead of embracing healing. Introspection is not about judgment, but about clarity, about illuminating the dark corners where the paradigm of effort still reigns supreme, preparing the ground for the reallocation of your energy, for an approach that honors the inherent ease of the universe and the intelligence of the quantum field in responding to coherence. Each push is a vibrational affirmation that what you do not desire is real and requires your attention. This is the essence of the paradox. Fighting against the problem keeps it in focus and therefore in existence within your field of observation. Neuroscience shows us that the brain seeks patterns, and by constantly struggling, you are teaching it to recognize and respond to these patterns of struggle, strengthening the synapses that encode resistance as a primary response. The quantum field, in turn, collapses the wave of infinite possibilities into the reality that corresponds to your dominant frequency. If that frequency is fighting against, then more fights against will manifest, creating a continuous validation of your premise that life is a battle. It is a self-feeding cycle, and the key to liberation lies not in more effort, but in a deep understanding and a shift in perspective. Understanding that your struggle is what fuels the observer loop is the first step toward unprecedented liberation. It is the paradigm shift that takes you off the hamster wheel of exhaustive effort. The truth is that the universe doesn't demand your sweat and tears to manifest your desires. It responds to your vibrational clarity and your permission for the flow of abundance to manifest with ease. The illusion that you need to break or fight is an old programming, a resonance of old beliefs about scarcity and difficulty that have been projected onto your reality. Now you have the opportunity to recognize this programming and to consciously choose a new path, a path where mastery lies not in force, but in subtlety, intelligence, and a deep understanding of the interconnection between your observation and the reality that manifests before you, a dance of energy and consciousness. The exhaustion you feel is not a failure, but an urgent and gentle invitation from the universe to reevaluate your approach. It is your energetic system signaling that the current strategy of pushing has reached its limit of effectiveness and that there is a more direct, more fluid, and infinitely more powerful path to manifestation. Imagine the lightness that will come when you can release the need to struggle, the freedom that will arise when you understand that the key is not force, but attunement. The observer loop is not a prison to be broken with violence, but an optical illusion that dissipates when you adjust your focus, when you change the lens through which you observe your reality, allowing the light of ease to illuminate possibilities previously obscured by incessant effort and the belief in difficulty, paving the way for a new way of being and creating. True mastery does not lie in the ability to fight against shadows, but in the intelligence of directing light. Struggle only confers power upon that which you wish to transcend, giving it a reality and form that it would not. require if you merely altered the frequency of your observation. The energy of effort and resistance is a form of nourishment for the undesirable pattern, keeping it strong and present in your experience. The door that says pull symbolizes your own frequency, your state of being. When you try to push, you are fighting against the very nature of manifestation that yearns for surrender and permission. Free yourself from the belief that equates value with effort and open yourself to the truth that the most potent and lasting manifestation is that which emerges from coherence and ease, without the density of battle. If struggling only strengthens the loop, how can we disentangle ourselves effortlessly and with total mastery, activating a quantum disengagement that redefines the very foundation of our experience? The answer lies not in more effort, but in a subtle yet radical shift in how you relate to the field of infinite possibilities. It is an invitation to release the shackles of struggle and embrace a new perspective, where the energy of creation flows through you without resistance, without the need to push against a door that longs to be pulled. Prepare to unveil the secret of a manifestation that does not demand battle, but rather a precise internal calibration, an adjustment of your own frequency that aligns you with the innate ease and abundance of the universe, opening the doors to a new paradigm of being and creating. If you have felt this frustration of pushing in your manifestation journey, this exhaustion of fighting against circumstances, and are ready to embrace a lighter, more intuitive, and profoundly more effective approach, leave an I pull in the comments below, affirming your readiness for a new approach and a new understanding. This is not just a comment, it's a vibrational declaration to the universe, a commitment to redefine your relationship with the observer loop, a gesture of surrender to effort and openness, to ease. By doing so, you send a clear frequency of intention, a signal to the quantum field that you are ready for quantum disengagement, to release the need to struggle, and to embrace the mastery of a new way of interacting with your reality, preparing the ground for the revelation of the next steps. You felt the weight of resistance in the previous block, the subtle trap of pushing when the invitation was to pull. Now, as you cross this boundary of effort, we understand that true mastery lies not in breaking the loop that seems to trap you, but in an internal reorientation so profound that it redefines the game itself. Quantum disengagement emerges here not as a struggle, but as the conscious activation of a new observer's perspective, a subtle shift in your vibrational field that precedes any external change. Imagine yourself at the center of your reality, no longer fighting against the currents, but navigating with the wisdom of one who understands that the external landscape is a direct reflection of your internal orientation. This is the key to the ease your soul yearns for, a release from the effort that, until now, has paradoxically kept you trapped. Feel this permission to breathe, to release the need to force, opening yourself to fluidity. Quantum disengagement is, in its purest essence, the art of activating a new point of attraction, before external evidence even whispers its existence. It's not about denying what you see or feel in the present, but about intentionally creating an internal resonance with the reality you wish to manifest, feeling it as if it were already yours right now. Your external reality is a mirror of the frequencies you emit, and to change the reflection, you must first alter the image you present. This requires vibrational coherence, where your thoughts, feelings, and intentions align not with the problem, but with the solution already realized. It's a leap of consciousness, an act of profound faith in your inherent capacity to co-create, where you don't wait for proof to believe, but believe to see the proof. Allow yourself to feel the lightness of this idea, the empowering responsibility of knowing that the power to redefine your experience is, in fact, in your hands, in your heart, in your own frequency. To understand this powerful subtlety, allow yourself a daily metaphor that connects you directly to the quantum physics of your experience. Think of a radio tuner. Have you ever experienced the frustration of tuning into a station that emits static or music you don't enjoy? Your natural reaction isn't to fight against the static or try to break the frequency that bothers you, is it? You don't grab a hammer to destroy the device in an attempt to make the unwanted music stop. Your intuition guides you to a much more elegant and simple solution. You instinctively understand that the path is different. The ineffectiveness of fighting against noise is evident, and this same wisdom applies to your reality. Recognize this simplicity within your being, this ancestral memory of how creation truly functions, without effort, without struggle. This same simplicity translates directly into your life experience. Quantum disengagement is, therefore, your internal dial turn. You don't try to destroy the station of problems, scarcity, or disharmony that your reality might be transmitting. Instead, with an act of conscious and sovereign intention, you move the dial of your attention, your emotion, your perspective to a new frequency. It's an act of redirection, not resistance. You choose with total autonomy to tune into the station of abundance, health, love, peace, not because you see them already physically manifested, but because you decide to feel them within yourself. This internal choice, this dial turn of your consciousness, is the key to unlocking a new channel of reality, where the melodies you wish to hear begin to resonate and manifest in your external experience naturally and fluidly. Connect now with the somatization of this truth. Feel in your body the lightness of imagining that you are simply changing the station, not fighting an arduous battle. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale, visualize your shoulders relaxing, your mind calming, as if an immense weight were lifted. Quantum disengagement is a process of surrender to ease, of trust in your innate ability to recalibrate your energy. Feel the vibration in your center, in your heart, as you consciously choose a frequency of gratitude, joy, well-being, before any external circumstance justifies this feeling. This internal practice of feeling, the new reality is present, activating your vibrational coherence, is what begins to reconfigure the quantum field around you, creating space for the new to emerge without the need for effort or struggle, but rather through your authentic resonance. It is fundamental to recognize that, perhaps, you have consistently tuned into a station that wasn't your preferred one for long periods. This is not a failure, but a learning. You were conditioned to observe what is, and, in doing so, to reinforce that same reality through your attention and emotion. But quantum disengagement offers permission to release that conditioning. It invites you to a new paradigm, where what you observe no longer needs to be the limit for what you experience. Instead of fighting against the undesired station, you gently acknowledge it, and then with an act of deep self-compassion and power, you consciously shift your focus. Allow yourself to feel compassion for yourself for all moments of effort, and then feel the lightness of liberation upon understanding that there is a more direct, more loving path, more intrinsically aligned with your quantum essence. With this new understanding and the feeling of this freedom pulsing in your being, pause for an instant and reflect deeply. Which station of reality have you been consistently tuning into, even if it's not your preferred one? What are the noises, the repetitive melodies you've grown tired of hearing in your daily life, in your finances, in your relationships, in your health? Feel the truth of that question. And now, with the sovereignty that quantum disengagement grants you, ask yourself with all the sincerity of your soul, what would you be willing to feel differently now, at this very moment, to begin tuning into the station of your true essence? Allow that question to echo within you, not seeking an elaborate mental answer but an emotional resonance, a genuine desire to experience something new, something more aligned with the magnificence you truly are, even before it manifests. The beauty of this understanding, this paradigm shift, is that it transcends mere theory. It's not just about intellectually understanding that you can turn the dial. It's about experiencing this frequency shift, tangibly, instantly, within your own being. Mastery isn't just in knowing, but in doing, in feeling, in being this new vibration. Quantum disengagement invites you to step out of the arena of mental effort and into the sanctuary of vibrational experience. It prepares you for the practical alchemy of transforming intention into sensation, and sensation into a new reality. You are equipping yourself with an internal tool that not only promises a shift, but delivers it. Feel the anticipation, the curiosity for the practice unfolding. Before you, the ease of co-creation that awaits your acceptance. If the idea of tuning into a new reality, of adjusting your internal dial to the frequencies of your highest aspiration, resonates deeply in every cell of your being, if you feel this truth vibrate in your soul, then I invite you to an act of immediate energetic co-creation. like this video right now. By doing so, you are not just clicking a button, you are sending a clear intention to the quantum field, amplifying the energy of this new paradigm, declaring your readiness for an effortless shift. You are activating your quantum disengagement, signaling to the universe that you are ready to receive and manifest the reality you truly desire. May this simple, yet powerful action be your first conscious step to tune into the extraordinary life that awaits you. You felt, in the previous blocks, the subtle urgency to disengage, to turn the internal dial of your perception, moving from a station of resistance to one of pure resonance. Understanding that struggling against the observer loop only strengthens it is the key to freedom, but true mastery blossoms in the application of that wisdom. Now, let's dive into the essence of the practice, into the heart of re-observing, which activates quantum disengagement and precipitates an instant, effortless shift directly into your present experience. This is not a technique of denying your reality, but a refined art of active refocusing, a conscious choice to realign your attention and emotion to the field of infinite possibilities that coexists with your apparent reality, ready to be collapsed into your experience. The practice of re-observing invites you to acknowledge the existence of what is, without judgment or attachment, and simultaneously, to direct your internal lens, your observer's consciousness, toward the aspect of the solution, of permission, or of the desired new reality that already pulsates in potential within the quantum void. It's not about pretending the problem doesn't exist, but about infusing your vital energy, your focused attention, and your felt emotion into the frequency of the answer. Imagine that each reality you perceive is just one of many probability waves in the quantum field. Re-observing is the deliberate act of collapsing the wave of your preferred reality, bringing it from invisible potential into tangible manifestation on your experiential timeline, activating a deep vibrational coherence that redefines your immediate experience. To activate this quantum disengagement, your most sublime task is to find the slightest remnant, the faintest hint, the most fleeting sensation of the reality you wish to manifest. Perhaps it's a glimpse of peace amidst chaos, a feeling of expansion during meditation, a memory of when everything flowed with ease, or even the simple and radical acceptance that it is possible for a solution to exist, even if you don't clearly see it now. This is your anchoring point, the seed of the new reality. By fixing your attention on this point, you are not denying the weed of your current perception, but are actively watering and nurturing the flower you wish to see bloom. It's an act of micro-alignment, a subtle yet profoundly potent neural reprogramming that redefines your point of attraction. The science of neuroplasticity elegantly validates this process. Each time you choose to re-observe, each time your attention and emotion deliberately turn toward the frequency of the solution or the manifested desire, you are literally building new neural pathways in your brain. You are strengthening the connections that resonate with the new reality and weakening those that sustained the old pattern. This is an internal battlefield where your consciousness is the gardener and your synapses are the seedlings. By consistently re-observing, you are not just changing your perspective, you are actively rewriting the bonheur architecture of your nervous system, making it a more potent receiver for the frequencies of the reality you wish to experience, tuning it to the ease and abundance that are your heritage. Consider the metaphor of the garden. When you enter your garden and observe weeds, your energy doesn't focus on fighting each one with fury. That struggle would be exhaustive and, paradoxically, would give more attention to what you don't desire, feeding their presence through your focus, making them more robust in your perception. A gardener's mastery lies in the intelligence and patience of focusing their energy on nurturing the flowers they wish to grow, providing them with the right nutrients, water, and sunlight, creating an environment where they can thrive. This is the essence of quantum disengagement. It's not a battle against the undesired, but an act of active and intentional nourishment of the desired, a permission for what is beautiful and abundant to expand naturally. By applying re-observing, you become this conscious gardener. Your weeds are thoughts of scarcity, emotions of frustration, patterns of limitation that seem to persist. Your flowers are peace, joy, abundance, vibrant health, You don't invest your precious mental and emotional energy in combating the weeds, but in watering the seeds of desired reality with your mindful attention and elevated emotions. This action of nurturing, of focusing on what you want to see blossom, is your quantum disengagement. You are actively realigning your energy with the frequency of creation, allowing the flowers of your new reality, with their inherent beauty and vitality, to naturally dominate the space, transmuting the perception of the weed into fertile ground for expansion. This act of nurturing is not an act of force, but of gentleness and consistency. It's not about pushing reality, but about inviting the flowers to manifest, creating the ideal conditions for them to unfold with grace. And the power of re-observing lies in its simplicity and its ability to shift the vibrational field you are emitting. The weeds don't disappear because you broke them or fought against them. They recede and eventually disintegrate from your perception because the vibration of the flowers, the frequencies you are emitting and nurturing, become so vibrant, so dominant, so undeniably real, that there is simply no more energetic space for what you don't desire to coexist, creating a perception matrix where abundance is the only possible reality. Now, feel this within your own being, as your consciousness expands to embrace this new way of operating. What seed of a new reality, of a new frequency of being, can you consciously choose to nurture today at this very moment, even if only for a few seconds? Close your eyes for an instant and allow yourself to feel the texture of this seed, the promise of life it contains, the limitless potential for growth that resides within its deepest core. It doesn't have to be grandiose. It can be a momentary sense of relief, a spark of hope, a breath of gratitude for what already exists that is good. Allow that feeling to fill your body, your mind, your spirit. This micro moment of re-observing, this conscious choice to focus on and feel the seed of desired reality, is a powerful act of co-creation. Even if it lasts only a few seconds, it sends a new and clear frequency to the quantum field, an energetic declaration of your intention and your new vibration. You are informing the universe through your internal coherence that you are ready for a new station, that you are attuned to a different reality. This small yet significant shift in your attention and emotion is a quantum disengagement in miniature, an instant recalibration that begins to redirect the flow of energy and manifestation in your life, rewriting your destiny with each passing moment. Notice how this choice, this simple act of re-observing and nurturing, does not demand effort, but rather a decision. What emotion arises when you allow yourself to feel, even for a brief moment, the reality you desire? Is it peace? Is it lightness? Is it a feeling of expansion? Connect with that emotion. Allow it to permeate every cell of your body. This is the sensation of the instant shift, proof that you have the power to change your frequency at any moment. You are not waiting for external reality to change to feel good. You are using feeling good as the leverage to collapse the desired reality, becoming the conscious creator of your own experience, the maestro of your own vibrational symphony, emanating the note of abundance and ease. By integrating this practice of re-observing into your daily life, you not only momentarily shift your focus, you systematically reprogram your perception matrix. Your subconscious mind, which was once conditioned to seek and amplify undesirable patterns, now begins to actively seek the seeds of solution, of permission, of the new reality. The world around you, which once seemed to reflect your struggles and frustrations, begins to reconfigure itself to mirror this new matrix of ease and abundance. The observer loop is no longer a trap, but a portal to conscious manifestation, where your attention becomes a beacon that attracts everything you desire into your immediate experience. This reprogramming is the transition from a life of effort to one of grace and fluidity. You move from trying to manifest to allowing manifestation, because your internal matrix is already aligned, already attuned. Abundance is not something you pursue. It is something you are, a frequency you emanate, and the universe responds to that emanation. You become a magnet for your intentions as resistance dissolves and vibrational coherence establishes itself as your natural state. Ease becomes the pattern, and miracles, once seen as exceptions, become the norm of your experience. Witnessing the potency of your new way of observing and co-creating your reality. But what if I told you that, even after activating quantum disengagement and experiencing these instant shifts, there's a next level of mastery, an even deeper dimension of freedom and creation awaiting you? What comes after the shift, when the new reality begins to consistently unfold in your life? How can we not only attract the desired, but merge with the very essence of creation, transcending even the need to re-observe and simply be what we wish to manifest? It's about going beyond reactive manifestation into a state of pure, proactive creation, where your existence is the very symphony of the universe. For those ready to plant this new seed, for those who feel the urgency to transcend struggle and embrace the ease of quantum disengagement, save this video now. Keep this technique accessible. Revisit it whenever you feel the need for realignment, whenever the old pattern tries to claim your attention. Use it as your vibrational compass, your guide to recalibrate your energy and activate the instant shift that resides within your power of re-observing. This is your invitation to freedom, your bridge to an existence where manifestation is a natural flow, an intuitive dance with the quantum field, a testament to your innate mastery.